Brother to Brother. Learn more right after this.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome to Community Watch. Greg,
Doc.
how you doing?
All right, brother, how you doing?
No, see, you got. Well, no, never mind. You doing all right?
I'm actually doing pretty good. I can't complain. I won't complain.
Well, good, good. We're talking about brother to brother today.
We are, which is I know such a passionate love for you, but I also know it's one of those things that keeps you up at night.
Now, you're a little involved too.
Yeah, but it doesn't keep me up at night.
No,
I mean,
well, nothing
I'm
would.
kind of like,
Nothing would.
I'm kind of done. But it's a great program that I still think probably the greater community don't recognize and the impact it's having. But
Well, Brother to Brother is a program that's actually connected to a state initiative and also to a national program to help increase the enrollment numbers, retention numbers, and graduation rates for African American and Latino men, minority men. Because statewide and nationally, that group was not succeeding at the rate that they should be succeeding. And that was true at Georgia Highlands too, when we started this program. So, and we're in our end of our fifth year now. So we've seen a lot of positive things happen.
that's been modest. Yeah.
Well, we have achieved our mission. We've increased enrollment. We've increased retention rates and graduation rates. And we started out, I think, with 7 guys in this program. Now we have about 120. So it's grown.
It's a lot of it's a lot of love, but it is a journey.
Yeah.
It comes with a lot of I guess rethinking. We have to rethink things as we educate young men. I think that's what B2B does. It really allows us to rethink how we approach young men.
Well, we've got today 2 of the leaders, actually 2 of the more recent leaders in the program, and they'll be out with us after this break. But we're going to let them talk a little bit about the program and what they think the significance of it is. So stay with us. We'll be right back with our guests after this.
If you're looking for a new pet that your family will cherish every day, consider adopting from a shelter. Shelters are the best places to find a new pet. That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet, so bring home your new buddy today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're very happy to have with us today Zaquan White and Evan Snelling. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having us, Doc.
Delighted to be here.
Now, you are both fairly recently, you've been elected to officer level positions at 2 of our campuses. Actually, Evan, you've been an officer this year, but now you're president of our Cartersville campus chapter.
Yes, sir.
And Zaquan, you will be vice president at Marietta.
Yep. Delighted.
Well, congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
So I know that Greg and I have been involved in this program from a lot of different angles behind the scenes, and we know how it's developed. But y'all have come into it from a different angle and understand it differently than we do. So, and I know both of you were a little reluctant at first, which is not uncommon. So, why don't you talk about that a little bit? Your experience with some reluctance being part of this program, and what changed.
You can start off.
I think my reluctance being a part of Brother to Brother was throughout college you hear about different groups and organizations on campus, and you hear about them, you don't think about them after that. But what stuck with me is Brother to Brother. I could see that the minorities in the program, they were dressing different, they were acting different, they were sitting in the front of the classrooms. Therefore, I could tell that they were making positive changes, and that was definitely something that I wanted to be a part of.
What about you, Zyklon?
Well, for me, I'll say personally, me being reluctant in the beginning stages, it was because I've been a part of groups sort of like this before, I guess I could say, and it just wasn't the same type of atmosphere and the feeling I get with being with Brother to Brother. So that's why I was reluctant in the beginning, but now I see it's totally different from what I had in my mind, and I'm actually very excited to be a part of this kind of brotherhood.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Well, that reluctance, Doc, I think, for me, and I want you gentlemen to answer on your own, I think there's a reluctance among black men in particular to be with other black men, because I think sometimes what the perception is, what are we doing, what is it about? And I know, for instance, in Cartersville, I know that chapter struggled with being a hate group or something else, because it was, I think that's part of the challenge. How do we change the perception that you have young black men that want to be scholars? How do we change that perception as young men? You was reluctant, but what would you have wanted to see that would have made you, like, right off the bat, like, yeah, I need to be a part of that? I mean, because it took you a time to kind of see, but what would you have wanted to see that would have made you right off the bat say, hey, I need to be a part of that?
Basically, well, for me personally, I would have, like anybody else, I think you have to see a model, somebody who has taken strides in the beginning and going through the motions, but you see where they ended up, and just a model. That's what I would say,
For myself, I would have liked to seen more advertisement through the college that it was offered, maybe more instructors telling students about it. I think for me that would have definitely made me latch on to the program before I did.
I know that both of you were part of a group that went to the national conference, which was in Detroit this year, near the end of March. And I know that you were aware before we went to that conference that Brother to Brother was part of a national program. But did it become, during that trip, did it become more clear that we were? I mean, just being around, because there are 300 chapters in colleges around the country, so it's really it's a huge organization.
Huge, yeah.
I think for me, the conference in Detroit definitely did a lot for me. Seeing other campuses, four-year institutions such as Wake Forest, bigger universities you think of having this kind of program instilled in their colleges. I think that definitely helped me see the light, and to know that at Georgia Highlands, this college and this program and this group of brothers are making a very good impact on the community as a whole was definitely very rewarding.
For me, it was pretty much the same thing. Actually being there in Detroit at the conference, it was more real. Actually seeing everything and being a part of it was a great experience, and I would want everybody to get that kind of experience. I understand that that's not really possible, but that experience for me was very great, and I loved every part of it.
Oh, it's possible. We just
I mean, it's
possible. We
possible.
got to raise some more money.
Yeah, it's definitely it's possible, but
It's
you know,
possible.
it's
But
a stretch.
I know what you're talking about because
Right.
every year when I go to the 100 National Conference, and even though I've been year after year, it's still something rewarding for me to be
Right.
around people that look like me,
Right.
that are doing positive things like I'm trying to do.
Mm.
And somehow it's like it rejuvenates me because
Right.
it's like I'm not in this alone. You know, it's not just a small chapter in Georgia, Rome chapter. You know, it's 110 chapters nationally. And so it kind of gives you this strength that, you know, I got other brothers out here fighting this same fight. And to go to other institutions to see young men just like yourself say, you know, dedicated to their education, it has to be very rewarding.
Right.
And it's one of those things that I think as new leaders, you know, you'll be able to share and, you know, pass that torch on.
Right.
But one thing I want to get into, because, you know, I like just getting to it.
Now, you need to let them mention the little award they won.
The Little Award.
Yeah.
Little Award.
Yeah.
Why you got to play? So what Little Award did y'all win?
Georgia Highlands College was recognized as Chapter of the Year, which is a for the KSAB, which is the national organization which Brother to Brother is a member of. It's not the first time we've won the award. It's actually the second time.
It's actually the second
time.
In the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Second time in the last 3 years. So it's definitely an honor, and it's a privilege. After recognizing that we won, it was an honor to be a part of this group and to know that we're known on a worldwide spectrum.
Yes.
But now you got to get to work. I mean, this is the
To
year
maintain
after.
it, yeah.
This is the year after
You
the
gotta
national
be-
championship.
Yeah, you got to maintain now.
Yeah.
But what I really want to know from you guys, and I mean, this is just conversations, being honest. What is it about B2B that you have found that has made it, you know, home for you? Because of all the different guys, I'm quite sure there's different things. But what is it you have found personally that made you say, yeah, this is what I want to do. I'm gonna be committed to this organization, and I want to be active in this organization, because to run for office, to be an officer, you know, it's a commitment. What was it in each of you that personally got you there?
Well, for me personally, as of late, recently, I've seen a lot of guys willing to do their part and willing to be a part of the brotherhood, and that's what keeps me around. That's what keeps me going. Because if I see other guys that wants to be there and, you know, are striving for better things and better endeavors in their life, then it makes me want to, you know, help and be there for them. That's me personally.
I think for me, which made me grasp Brother to Brother, was the changes that I could see that they were doing. I know ever since joining Brother to Brother, one of our traits is intellectual development. And I know my grades have greatly increased, and I think that's a perk, I want to say, of Brother to Brother. And also proactive leadership, which is, I pride myself more on being a leader, not just in the classroom, but outside of the classroom and in my personal life as well.
Now I know that has to make you feel good to hear that.
Well, it does, but what really makes me happy is that, of course, you would expect with our leadership that their GPAs would reflect what's going on in the organization. But I think I think that's generally true with the organization, and the members that are struggling often find help within the organization. Don't y'all agree with that?
Definitely.
I know that on the Marietta campus, for example, y'all decided, I guess, mid-semester to start having a study afternoon or session every Thursday afternoon.
Right.
And either you're working on something of your own or you're helping somebody.
Right.
So, you know, it is that pleases me. And I mean, Evans, we were trying to calculate his GPA for this semester, and we're not sure about a couple of grades yet, but it's like the worst it could be is a 3.6.
Yes, sir.
3.6. Well, we're not going to say what it was before, but we're just
It
going
was
to say
lower than that.
Yeah, we're going to say lower than that. But knowing that, Evan, knowing that you now have this 3.6,
yes, sir,
knowing B2B was part of that success, Now you are the president. What does that mean for you, though? I mean, what does that mean for you? Because now you are the model, as Quan was talking about. So what does that mean to you?
To be honest, I don't really take it as a challenge. I take it as, you know, I can be myself. I like to think of myself as an individual that's a leader in every aspect of my life. So I just hope that by being the president on the Cartersville campus, that maybe I can be what I didn't see when I came to college. Maybe someone can see me and think of, hey, you know, that black male right there isn't sagging his pants, or that black male right there sits in the front of the class, or, you know, he's very, he has manners, you know, maybe he opened the door for me. I would like to see what, you know, maybe if he's a part of an organization. So I hope that my character can be inspiration for other minorities to join Brother to Brother.
And I think it's true that one thing that has happened at Georgia Highlands, at least, is that Brother to Brother has changed the perception of what minority men are. The culture has changed, at least within the college.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So I think it's still a battle, but I think it's one that is changing and is continuously changing. But I still think it's a battle within the organization to get, because I have 120 something.
Right.
Everybody's not always on the same page.
Right.
But I still think it's that's the part of the challenge, is getting people to get the rest of the members to realize, you know, it's bigger than just Highlands. This is not. It's bigger than just GPAs. This is really about the rest of our lives. You know, who are we going to put forth as our face for the rest of our lives?
Well, we are coming up on a break here. When we get back, we'll have a lot more discussion, so please stay with us.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking. Viking.
Red state. Blue state. Vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live.
our families,
United.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're talking with Zaquan White and Evan Snelling, who are officers in Brother to Brother, which is a program through a partnership with the 100 Black Men of Rome in Northwest Georgia and Georgia Highlands to increase the enrollment, retention rates, and graduation rates of African American men and Latino men.
Let me ask you a question before you
All
get
right.
to them. Because for our viewers out there who may not understand the whole purpose of how B2B came about, can you go into some of the statistics that you know, and really, because I think people need to understand the context in which B2B was built, because it was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I don't want to bore people with numbers.
I love numbers.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie.
Using Georgia Highlands as an example, because the problem that Georgia Highlands had was typical of the state of Georgia and typical, really, of the nation.
Of the nation.
6 years ago, when we first started talking about this, African American men had a 3% graduation rate out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
So 97% of the African American men who enrolled did not graduate. That's bad.
Yeah.
Our retention rate for African American men was 33%. So very low numbers. And in the 5 years since we started the program, we have a 43% graduation rate. Still not what I would like to see, but tremendously better than when we started.
But what is the graduation rate for Highlands, though?
I mean, for African American men
school
in
period.
general, school period is lower than that.
Well, I'm going to put that in context,
Yeah,
because
a lot of our-
43 is better than the percentage for the college overall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we do you know, like a lot of two-year colleges, we have students that don't stay to graduate. They transfer early, or they have a particular need for a course or two, you know, so they're not part of our graduation rate. So there are reasons for the low numbers, but our retention rate is 75%, or at least it was this past semester. So compared to 30% 5 years ago, we're doing tremendously better.
So I say that to say that the state recognized there was a problem.
Yes.
It put forth some funding, some initial funding, seed money if you would, to create programs to address this. Georgia Highlands has addressed this issue, but have been so good at addressing it, they have become a 2-time national recognized chapter with B2B.
Right.
So it says to me that this problem that is national can be rectified. It can be fixed because we're doing it at Highlands. So it's not a problem that is just so overwhelming. It takes some, I think a lot of times we don't want to admit that men of color, I don't particularly like minorities, men of color have some needs that are different than some of their counterparts. And that if we are truly about educating men of color, we have to be willing to recognize those needs and address them if we truly want to make a difference.
And I know you and I have talked about this, of course, many times, along with Dalton Lamel, who is helping us with the program. He's a recruiter at the Paulding campus in Dallas. We feel like we know what needs to be done in a lot of cases, but what is needed is, to a certain degree, money, but to a larger degree, commitment. Commitment of time, commitment of individuals who are serious about dealing with it.
Yeah.
Because I think we could, 100% is strong, but I think we could do
much
a lot
better.
Yeah. I mean, I think we know something about how to do it, and we could do a lot better if we had the manpower, the time, and
funding,
and the funding.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, gentlemen, we just want to make sure everybody understood the parameters in which we were working with for the need of such a great program. I have a question, and I know you have. Now that you're in B2B, you've seen it, you've gone to the national conference. Has it changed your mind state about black men, young black men in college in that area? Because I know you mentioned sagging pants. Has B2B helped change your mind about how you see yourself and your peers?
Yes, sir. I would definitely agree that it's changed my mindset. B2B has shown me that no matter what many outside voices may say about young black males in America, that not all of them are going to go down a criminal path. There are very young intellectual men that want to, pursue different avenues, whether it's the medical field, the nursing field, criminal justice. And Brother to Brothers really opened my eyes to show that there's other people of my skin complexion that want greater things for this community and for the world in general.
Well, for me personally, I wouldn't say it changed my perspective about black males a whole lot, because I am aware that there are other positive black males out there, you know what I mean, doing things for the community and doing things to empower ourselves. So I wouldn't say I was, surprised to see what I saw at that conference. It was just beautiful to see it firsthand, So I would say that.
Let me ask y'all this. I think it's clear, though, at Georgia Highlands and beyond Georgia Highlands, that there is still an issue with men of color succeeding at the college level at a rate that they should be. Because, you look at the numbers of how Georgia Highlands students are doing who are not in our program. Why is that? And why do we need programs like this still? I mean, we have a African American president, right? That solves everything, doesn't it?
For whom? Oh, I'm sorry, you asking him. Okay, go ahead. Why do we need such programs?
Well, for me personally, I would say you need such programs to, basically to empower ourselves, I guess, to better ourselves. But for your question, what was the full question again?
It was a long question, Zaquan.
I just want to be able to answer.
Essentially, I guess what I'm asking is, for African American men, let's focus on African American men. Why are programs like this necessary to get the kind of success rates that other groups seem to be getting without it? So what are the problems that, from your experience?
Well, you want the honest answer?
Well,
because
kinda. Yeah.
Kinda.
No, I want it.
Well, my honest answer is that, and you have to understand from the beginning that this system, this institutionalized concept of college is not set up for us in the first place. So I would say these kind of programs are needed, because if we all rally around each other and have each other's backs and create a brotherhood as brother to brother has done, then it is better. It is a better road for them, a better road for us. So that's what I would say. But the system isn't set up for us.
So let's be honest. If we can break that down, so basically, you may enter into college.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody say you can come.
Oh, yeah,
but
can
when
come.
you go through those gates,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily designed, because I think people take for granted that if you're one African American student
Right.
and you in a class with, let's say, 45 other students that are non-black, yeah, you're there.
Right.
But how does that affect you? Do I belong here? Who do I talk to? Who do I collaborate with? Who can I study with? I don't think sometimes people put that in perspective.
Right.
And so having a place where you belong to somebody to hold you up
Exactly.
when you fall down, or somebody to push you forward, becomes paramount in
Right.
in that success equation.
Right.
And I think sometimes people don't realize that belonging
Exactly.
and having a sense of belonging is important in any success.
Because all in all, it's just people want to see that you actually care, or somebody's out there that actually cares, and that's what makes the difference. I believe, seeing somebody that actually cares. I would say.
I agree with what Zaquan just said. Definitely a sense of brotherhood, a support system. Use it as a building block to know that other brothers are dealing with the same issues that you're dealing with, and that no matter what issue, in classroom, outside of classroom, to know that you have other brothers that will be there to help you, as well as Dr. Hershey, and even, all the work we've done with the 100 Black Men of Rome.
We can just cut the show off right now. But it just makes me happy, Doc, because I know, and I thank you, because I know you have really put a lot of, you really have put a lot of work into this program. We have, but you have really been the front line, and we discuss a lot of stuff, but this program to me validates the fact that a lot of our students come into Georgia Highlands not where they need to be academically. There are a lot of them are behind, but they are graduating at a higher rate than a lot of other students on the campus. So that says we have a lot of kids in high schools that are not being, I think, properly prepared, going into college, and are not being properly prepared, and therefore that's why we have such a low graduation rate. But we know it can be done. These young men are proving that.
And it should also say that Georgia Highlands might be a good place to start.
Well, it's a great place to start.
Yeah.
Great place.
Well, we're coming up on another break here. Stay with us. We'll be back with more after this.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been talking with Zaquan White and Evan Snelling, who are officers in Brother to Brother at 2 of Georgia Highlands campuses, Cartersville and Marietta, a program to increase the enrollment retention rates and graduation rates for African American and Latino men. And if you have questions about Brother to Brother, you can contact me at jhershey, JHERSHEY at highlands.edu. And think about Georgia Highlands as an option, especially we're talking about African American men and Latino men, because we have a program that at least 5 years is showing can work. And I want to thank the two of you, Zaquan and Evan, for being with us, and also for the work you're doing.
Thank you so much for having us.
I think Brother to Brother's in good hands, don't you?
We'll see.
But thank you for being with us this week. We will see you next time on Community Watch.